Well, good morning and welcome to another edition of Anthony's Audio Journal. Today, we're going to be heading out right over there to Cahuilla Mountain. That's right out the window here of the Jeep, across the road. Cahuilla Mountain is a lesser known mountain in Riverside County. It's got some very unique history to it that we're going to talk about later today on the hike. But I just pulled over on the side of the road to get a good shot of the mountain here. We're going to be going on the road along the backside, and we're going to be heading up between Cahuilla Mountain and Little Cahuilla Mountain, heading this direction. Actually, we're going to reach the summit. It's about a 5.5 mile hike. Shouldn't be too bad. It's going to be a nice day today, so it's perfect for a hike. And with the COVID-19 virus going on, we're not allowed to go to any established campgrounds or picnic areas. A lot of the national forest and national park and state park trails are closed, but this one is not, and it's because it doesn't have a picnic area, it doesn't have a campground, doesn't have a big parking lot, doesn't have any amenities you normally find at a trailhead. There's no bathrooms, there's no interpretive signs, none of that. All it is a dirt fire road and a little pull-out and a trail that goes up to the top at Cahuilla Mountains. We're going to be up there in a little bit, and about another 15-20 minutes to get there. Then I'll be ready to start the hike. Well, I've been driving on this road, Trip Flats Road, and then eventually Juan Diego Road, working my way up here to the trailhead. But I had to stop here for a minute because you got a great view of San Jacinto across the valley. And then over on this side, I don't know if you can see it in this camera angle, but it's a great view of Gorgonio and all the snow on top of Gorgonio right now. So it's been a pretty rough road. There's been spots that haven't been too bad, but for the most part, it's been pretty bone jarring. And it's a little chilly up here. It's supposed to be in the mid 60s today, but it's in the mid 50s right now, and the wind's blowing a little bit, and I can feel it. But we got a good elevation right now. In fact, that's Thomas Mountain over there. So I've been up there a few times. So anyway, we're going to keep heading down this way, and the trailhead's just right around the corner. So probably in about another 5 minutes we'll be there. I'm carrying a staff, and this one in particular, I made into a spear. I wrapped the handle with some jute twine and epoxy, put some decorations on it, made a nice sheath for it, and this is also epoxied in. This is old 1095 high carbon steel blade, and it's extremely sharp. I haven't sharpened the edges because I haven't felt the need to yet. But anyway, this is going to be the inaugural hike I'm taking this on. I can't take this on all the hikes, obviously. Anytime I'm going to be around people, they're probably going to be a little squeamish when they see a guy walking around with a spear. But I'm using it primarily as a hiking staff. But the extra length is going to come in handy because the snakes are out. It's spring. It's been in the upper 70s, low 80s out here over the last couple of days, and today it's not going to be as hot. There's a storm system moving in. It's going to be probably in the mid 60s at best today, but I think once the sun gets out in some wind protected areas, I wouldn't doubt to see a rattlesnake or two on the trail. So I brought this not to do anything to them, just to use it as additional distance to flip them off the trail and get them back into the woods. So and of course, I get to use it as a hiking stick. So anyway, this ought to be fun today. We'll see how the end holds up, and we'll see if I like this or not. But in the meantime, I parked right down there. The valley over there is heading over toward Thomas Mountain, and San Jacinto, just the tip, is sticking up on the other side of that ridge. So in the meantime, we're going that way up to Cahuilla Mountain. You know, I mentioned earlier about the view. Outstanding view of San Jacinto right there and Tahquitz Peak, along with the whole mountain range here. The road, Trip Flats Road, which turns into Juan Diego Road, is a Forest Service road that ends up going up and over the mountain down into the valley. But on this side, way over there, you can actually see Saddleback Mountain, which separates Riverside from Orange County. It's a great view. It's a little far off in the distance, but where we're going is on the other side of this. This isn't actually the summit. This is just the ridgeline in between here and the mountain side of Cahuilla Mountain. I still can't get over this view. It's amazing. Well, just to give you an idea where I'm at, I've come up probably, I don't know, over 1,000 feet, and still have the whole Gorgonio range way over there. That's awesome. And then San Jacinto and Taquitz and Ansel Rock and all the peaks over there. Thomas Mountain's over there, and then way off in the distance on that side is Toro Peak and Santa Rosa Mountain. So you got quite the, I don't know, 270-degree view from here. And you can see the road down below where I came from. But I've got some climbing to go still. I can see pine trees up here, so I'm looking forward to that. You know, while I was standing here recording that last little clip, I happened to look down by my feet and saw that paw print. That's a big paw print. I'm hoping that's from somebody that brought their dog up here, because there's a smaller footprint right next to it. But just for size comparison, I wear size 13 shoes. That's a pretty decent sized paw print right there. But the good thing is, the little paw print next to it makes me believe that maybe it's just someone with a big dog and a little dog. Can't see the toe prints, so, I mean the toenails, which is a bad thing, because normally dogs have little nail marks, whereas big cats don't. So we'll see if we see any more signs along the way. Well, there's that paw print again. It looks like there might be toenail marks at the tip. I really can't tell. This is a little fresher sign. In fact, there's another one up there. But either way, I have to be careful. Every time I hear a stick or twig snap, I have to look up behind me and in front of me and to the sides of me and make sure that I am the only one up here on this trail today. That's all I need. Hey, at least I got the spear today. Well, there's some scat along the trail, and that's not from a deer, and it's got looks like manzanita berries or something in it. So that's not from a local dog. Normally coyote scat has a lot of fur in it, and it's cylindrical and tapered toward the end, and that's not. So don't really know for sure what that is, but hopefully that's not from a mountain lion. It looks a little small, maybe a bobcat. I'm gonna go with that. It makes me feel better. Well, to give you an idea where I'm going, you can see the trail goes along right there, works its way up. Last time I was here, we went up to this peak on the right. It's I don't think it's named. There was no sign-in register or anything, but it was actually kind of a neat peak, had a great view from up there. But in the meantime, we're going to be heading up that way onto the backside. And we're going to be walking just on the west side of the ridge, in the shade, in the trees, in the pines, and that's the scenic part of this hike for me. Well, here's some more scat right there. That's definitely not from a dog. It's a little dry, but there is some moisture to it, so it hasn't been here that long. Maybe a day at the most. I wouldn't think any more than that. It would have dried up by now. That's 2 sets of scat droppings I've seen in the last 50 feet. So I'm gonna have to keep my eyes open up here. Now, last time I was up here, the manzanita wasn't in bloom. So it looks like it's spring is getting close. Not that far away. Things are going to start popping here pretty soon. Having to do a little bit of bushwhacking. There was a couple of stretches back there that were so thick I was using the staff on one side and camera tripod on the other. And this stuff right here is nasty. It just kept whipping me in the face. Manzanita's cut back okay, but this stuff has really grown. I think it's time to get the conservation corps back up here again. Do a little maintenance. I still can't get over these views. San Jacinto, and it's behind the tree over there. Gorgonios off to the left. Anybody need a slingshot? Looks like this area suffered some burn damage a while back. You can finally start to see off, I guess that would be to the south of us here. The notch is right in front of me there, but you got a good view of the valley down below. The Toro Peak's way over there, so I'm not even sure what range that is. But I'm not too far from the notch. Well, it looks like I finally reached the top of the saddle. It looks like I've got some company. Looks like a family is up here at the top. I don't know where they parked, not where I parked. And it looks like they're maybe backpacking. Maybe they spent the night up here. That's pretty cool, huh? Well, the mystery has been solved over the paw print. As I came up to the notch up there, there was a family, and it was looks like 4 adults and probably 4 or 5 kids, and a really huge Akita and a puppy Akita. So the large paw print was most likely the large Akita, and the small one was most likely the puppy. So they've been up here for 2 days. They're backpacking. They're heading out today. They came up through the Cahuilla Trail, and they're working their way down the backside, which is going to put them at Lake Riverside, which I didn't know it even went through the other way. So they're going to be coming by here in a minute. But I gave them plenty of space. I gave them at least 30, 40 feet. And I was upwind of them, so we're good. Great views up here. I'll show you in a second. Check this out. You have views of Lake Skinner. Oh, getting caught up here. You have views of Lake Skinner over there, and over there is Diamond Valley Lake, and over this way, right over there, you can actually see Mount Baldy. It's a ways off, but you can see it. But this is gorgeous right here. No wonder they spent a night up here. I would too. Well, if you've never seen Coulter pines before, look at the size of these pine cones right here. Things are massive. You figure it's a size 13 sandal you're looking at. Oh, you're fine. You're fine, doggies. You're fine. The little puppy's a little chubby one. He's cute though. Well, I finally got a chance to stop and talk to those guys. Kept my distance, of course. One of them, the guy that had the 2 dogs, he says he has a guide service called the Native Adventures, and it's based out of here, sounds like Lake Riverside. He's been to a lot of places, been all over the world, it sounds like, and he's doing some guiding trips. So that's good. It's good to see somebody else out here. He's just now getting started. So it sounds like he's got a lot of experience, spent some time in Uganda. He asked why I was filming. I told him from my channel. So maybe he'll go home and check it out. Maybe he'll get a new subscriber out of the deal. Meantime, he's showing kids what it's like up here on Cahuilla Mountain, keeping his distance, keeping away from everybody else. And it's always good to see kids out here in the outdoors. Expose them at a young age, and maybe it'll just motivate them for the future. Hi, puppy. He went that way. Well, I can't tell you how many years it's been since I used a P38 can opener. This is some lobster bisque soup from Bar Harbor, Maine. Went to Bar Harbor, and they had this soup there, and if you like lobster, you'd love lobster bisque. But you never used a John Wayne or a P38. It works. It's not the fastest tool in the woods, but they've been using them for 100 years probably. I've got my Sevilla stove over here priming. I'm going to throw this in a pot. I'm going to make me some lobster bisque soup here up on Cahuilla Mountain. I would have brought my firebox stove, but there's no open fires up here. So I was stuck with the stove. I thought, well, you know what? I haven't used my Sevilla stove in a long time. So let's see if I can get this last little piece of this lobster bisque can open. It doesn't have a pull tab, which is kind of strange. Well, let's see what I got here. And there we go. Lobster bisque. Just gotta go get my pot. Well, it looks like the stove's going pretty good. Let's try some of this lobster bisque soup. From Bar Harbor. I'm probably gonna have to turn this stove down because it's gonna heat up really fast. And I am gonna pack this can out when I'm done. A little wobbly here, and to make sure I don't spill my soup. A few minutes ago I found a tick. It was crawling on my leg, and I picked him up, and sure enough it was a little round red tick. So I'm gonna have to do a real good tick inspection when I get home. Been a pretty good hike so far today. Temperature wise has been perfect. It's been probably right around 60, 62 or so, 63 at this upper elevation. We're at almost 5,500 feet. The summit is, I just looked at the map. I was on the All Trails map, and I saved it. I downloaded it to my phone for you know, off-road use when I'm not you know, when I don't have cell signal. And it pinpointed my location right around the corner from the summit. Turned on my my inReach just to send a text to my wife that I'm stopping for lunch here. And also I wanted to tag it as one of my presets. So, looks like I'm about ready to boil over here. So the summit's just right around the corner. I've been up there before. It's not that great of a summit. There are some views if you know, clamber around a little bit. Okay, that's it. It's actually too hot. I'm gonna have to let it cool down now. I was trying to time it just right so it wasn't a rolling boil, you know, because I'm just going to have to sit here and let it cool off. But I'll give it a few minutes. It'll probably cool off here pretty quick. But this whole COVID-19 virus thing is just killing everybody. It's killing the economy. It's making it tough on all the families because everybody's all packed in close at the house and nobody can go anywhere. Nobody can do anything. You can't go to a restaurant. You can't go to a store unless it's for food. You can't go anywhere unless it's to the doctor, and everybody's afraid to go to the doctor because they're afraid they're going to catch COVID-19 from some other patient in the emergency room or in the doctor's office. So the emergency room visits have really drastically lowered their amounts. I live in Temecula, and so far, I think as of yesterday, we had about 54 confirmed COVID-19 cases and 0 deaths, so that's good. And Governor Gavin Newsom now is talking about eliminating all large sporting events and concerts and theaters and things like that all the way to the end of the year. I can understand where he's coming from, but it's going to be a tough one. We don't go to a lot of sporting events or concerts, so it's not a big deal to me, but I feel sorry for some of those other people. I don't know what they're going to do for baseball season. It's spring right now would be the prime time for Angels baseball, and now there's nothing. Hockey season's ramping up toward the playoffs and nothing. Basketball, same thing. So anyway, at least they haven't shut down all the forest yet. They've shut down some of it. A lot of the more popular trails are closed. A lot of the trailheads are closed. But there are areas that are in the middle of nowhere that not a lot of people know about, that not a lot of people go to, places like this, where you can still get out and get away and kind of get the knots out of your system, you know what I mean? You need to get up here and exercise, breathe some fresh air, stretch out your legs, you know, and that's one thing they can't take away from you. They can't take away this. At least they better not try. Well, anyway, I'm going to eat my lobster bisque from Maine, sitting up here in the shade at Cahuilla Mountain. I'll be at the summit here in a minute. Well, looks like we've reached the summit. The logbook's a little wet from the rain. Let's see what's inside it. It's kind of a bummer, it's all wet. The lid wasn't on real good. Make sure the lid's on good for the next one. All right, there we go. Cahuilla Mountain. Let's go check it out. Well, I made it to the top of Cahuilla Mountain. It's well, yeah, a little over 5,500 feet here. It's got great views overlooking all of the southeast. A really good view over Lake Riverside and San Jacinto on that direction, and a bunch of peaks to the south and east of us here. It's a good hike. It's an absolutely gorgeous day today. It's probably 65 right now, and there's a great big hawk sitting on a rock over there. I would imagine the thermals would probably draft up pretty good right here. I would imagine there'd be turkey vultures and other birds of prey up here, hawks hanging out. It's a gorgeous spot. Well, how's this for a view, huh? This is a tremendous view out here overlooking the Palomar Range to the south. And the Lake Riverside is down here. And then over that way, it's on the other side of the rocks. You can barely see it. There's tons and tons of yellow flowers and poppies and coming into bloom. All from the summit of Cahuilla Mountain. I was filming earlier, so I've got my camera set up over here. And the summit's right behind me. It's right up there. It's kind of, not that great from the top. You have to come down on the other side of the south to get this view. It's awesome up here. I want to take a break. Now, when I was coming up the trail, I didn't notice it. I walked right by it. This is the turnoff to the spring. And this is how you know the spring is that direction. So we just have to follow the little trail here. Short distance. Hopefully there's some water back there. Yeah, I knew there was a spring here. There's a spring on the map. And I finally found it. Looks like it's right here. Boy, not a lot to it. I was hoping to get some water out of it, but I don't know. Maybe not. Well, I made it to the top of Cahuilla Mountain. It was a great day hike. I don't know what time I started. I wasn't paying attention. Maybe 9-ish. Got to the top a little after, well, I got near the top, probably 12. And I hung around and had lunch and did some stuff and then went on to the summit. And then I hung out at the summit for another 45 minutes to an hour, maybe. And it's almost 2. And I'm a good, probably half mile from the summit heading down. I should be back at the car by, I would imagine, 3, probably 3:30. It's warming up. Feels great in the shade. There's this awesome breeze. So when I get over here to this other side, though, I have a feeling I'm going to be in direct sun, and it's going to be hot. But it was worth it to come out here today. Today was awesome. Absolutely stunning up here.